Parang di ko pa mapaniwala. Maraming salamat sa suporta. Sana patuloy yung suporta niyo sa akin. Kamusta mga kapong Pinoy? Surprise! Excited na akong imbitahin kayong lahat.
How many times can one tennis match shake an entire sport to its core? Hint, more than Novak's calendar year slam attempts. Stick around, because what happened between Teresa Valentová and AlexEala at the Qatar Open is about to expose the dark side of modern tennis. And trust me, you won't believe how deep this rabbit hole goes. Quick favor, if you're loving this content, smash that subscribe button. Over 92% of viewers haven't yet. It's free, takes 2 seconds, and helps us bring you more explosive tennis stories. Thanks if you did. Now back to the absolute chaos. Picture this. Doha, February 2026. The Qatar Total Energies Open, one of the premier tournaments on the WTA calendar, hosting some of the brightest young talents in women's tennis. The sun's beating down on the pristine courts, fans are buzzing with anticipation, and two rising stars are about to face off in what should have been just another first-round match. On one side, you've got Teresa Valentová, a 17-year-old Czech sensation with a powerful baseline game that has been turning heads all season. On the other, AlexEala, the Filipino phenom who has been climbing the rankings faster than a Rafael Nadal forehand crosses the net. Everything seemed normal. The players warm up, the crowd settles in, and the match begins. But within hours, this seemingly routine encounter would transform into the biggest integrity scandal women's tennis has seen in years. AlexEala came to play that day, folks. The young Filipino was locked in, focused, executing her game plan with precision. But something felt off. Valentová was not just good, she was too good. It was like she knew exactly where Eala's shots were going before they even left the racket. Every time Eala set up for a big forehand down the line, Valentová was already there. When Eala tried to sneak in a drop shot, boom, Valentová anticipated it perfectly. It was not just great tennis instincts, it started looking like something else entirely. Eala's team noticed it first. Her coach, sitting courtside with that suspicious look coaches get when they smell something fishy, kept glancing around the stadium. Who was Valentová looking at between points? Why did she keep checking toward a specific section of the stands? And most importantly, how was a teenager playing like she had a crystal ball telling her the future? The match ended with Valentová taking the victory, but the victory celebration was short-lived. AlexEala's team did not just pack up their bags and head to the airport. No, they went straight to tournament officials with concerns that would set off an investigation bigger than the one into Serena's catsuit controversy. Except this time, the stakes were way higher than fashion choices. We're talking about the integrity of competition itself. Here's where it gets juicy. Tournament officials suddenly found themselves staring at allegations that sounded straight out of a spy thriller. Unauthorized real-time external assistance. That's the fancy legal term for what everyone else calls cheating. But this wasn't your grandmother's tennis scandal. This was 2026 technology meets old-school rule-breaking, and the combination was absolutely explosive. The WTA launched an investigation faster than Coco Gauff's first serve, and what they found? Buckle up, tennis fans, because this is where the story goes from suspicious to absolutely bonkers. The investigation revealed that Valentová had potentially been receiving live tactical data during her match against Eala. We're talking predictive analytics, real-time shot pattern analysis, the kind of stuff that makes Hawkeye look like a toy from the 1980s. Imagine having someone feeding you information about your opponent's next move based on algorithms happening in real time. Not exactly fair, right? But wait, there's more. The investigation uncovered evidence of communication devices, data relay systems, and a network designed to give Valentová an unfair advantage. This was planned, coordinated, and executed with precision. The tennis world was about to explode, and social media was already warming up its outrage engines. When news of the investigation leaked, Twitter went absolutely nuclear. Tennis fans, players, coaches, even casual observers who only watch Wimbledon once a year, everyone had an opinion. One user posted, "Valentová scandal makes the whole sport look bad." Another chimed in with, "If you need technology to beat AlexEala, maybe tennis is not your sport." The memes started flooding in faster than John McEnroe's complaints to an umpire. One showed a player with a headset and laptop on court, captioned, "Modern tennis coaching be like." Another featured a split screen of Valentová and a chess computer with the text, "Spot the difference." Spoiler, there was not one. But here's the thing that really got people fired up. AlexEala, the victim in all this, handled the situation with more class than most veterans would have. Instead of going on a social media rampage or calling press conferences to blast her opponent, she let the officials do their job. That's the mark of a true champion, folks. Meanwhile, Valentova's camp went silent. Radio silence. Crickets. Not a single statement, not a denial, not even one of those classic non-apology apologies that celebrities love to throw out. The silence was deafening, and in the court of public opinion, silence equals guilt every single time. The WTA wasn't playing games. Within days of completing their investigation, they dropped the hammer. Teresa Valentová was retroactively disqualified from the Qatar Open. That victory over Eala? Erased. Gone. But the WTA didn't stop there. Valentová received a provisional suspension, meaning her tennis career just hit a pause harder than a rain delay at Roland Garros. No tournaments, no ranking points, no prize money. Let's talk about what provisional suspension actually means. When the WTA suspends a player provisionally, they're saying we've got enough evidence to believe something seriously wrong happened, and until we figure out the full extent, you're not playing anywhere. Valentová went from rising star to cautionary tale in less time than it takes to play a tiebreak. The fallout didn't stop with just Valentová either. The investigation started raising bigger questions that the tennis world has been avoiding for years. How do we regulate technology in an era where everyone has a smartphone, a smartwatch, and access to enough data to predict shot patterns better than Nostradamus could predict the future? The rules were written for an era when the most advanced technology courtside was a stopwatch and maybe a video camera. Now we're living in a world where artificial intelligence can analyze thousands of matches, identify patterns, and give tactical advice that would make even the best coaches jealous. The rulebook didn't just need an update, it needed a complete rewrite for the 21st century. Picture this: tournament directors in Doha suddenly dealing with an integrity scandal making international headlines. The Qatar Open now has its name attached to one of the biggest cheating controversies in recent tennis history. That's not the publicity sponsors signed up for. But let's zoom out for a second. This scandal exposed a massive regulatory gap hiding in plain sight. Professional tennis has been operating with rules designed for the analog age while sprinting into the digital era. Players have access to performance tracking, video analysis, and predictive modeling that would have seemed like science fiction 20 years ago. The question is not just what Valentová did, but how many other players might be doing similar things and not getting caught. The integrity debate is heating up faster than Medvedev's temper. Some argue technology should be embraced, that coaching through devices would make tennis more strategic. But here's the counter-argument. Tennis is one of the few sports where you're out there alone. No timeouts, no substitutions, no coach holding your hand. That isolation is what makes tennis special. Start allowing real-time data feeds, and you're not watching two players compete anymore. You're watching teams compete, while players execute orders like robots. The WTA's response sent a clear message. They investigated thoroughly, acted decisively, and made it clear as crystal that cheating brings serious consequences. That's the leadership the sport needs. AlexEala, meanwhile, got her justice. The disqualification meant that the loss was wiped from her record, and more importantly, her reputation as a clean competitor was validated. In a sport where your name and integrity are everything, where sponsors and fans need to believe in you, that vindication matters more than any ranking points. Eala walked away from this mess with her head held high, her reputation enhanced, and the respect of everyone who watched how she handled an impossibly difficult situation. That's how you turn a negative into a positive, folks.
Now, here's what keeps tournament directors up late at night. If this can happen at a premier WTA event with security and oversight in place, what about lower-level tournaments, challengers, ITF events, qualifying rounds with fewer cameras and less scrutiny? The Valentová scandal opened Pandora's box, full of questions about policing a sport evolving faster than the rules can keep up. The tennis community is now at a crossroads. On one side, tradition and the simplicity of 2 players, 2 rackets, and a ball. On the other, innovation and the march of technology. Finding balance is not easy, but absolutely necessary. Because if we don't figure it out soon, scandals like this won't be shocking anymore. They'll just be routine.
As the dust settles in Doha, one thing is crystal clear. The Qatar Open scandal was not just about one player making a bad decision. It was a wake-up call, a loud alarm bell that professional tennis needs to get its act together when it comes to technology and fairness. The sport can either adapt proactively, creating clear rules and enforcement, or wait for the next scandal to hit until fans stop trusting what they're watching. Teresa Valentova's career is now in limbo, her reputation tarnished, her future uncertain. AlexEala moves forward with vindication and a powerful story about standing up for fair play. The WTA proved it will protect the sport's integrity at all costs, and tennis fans everywhere are left wondering what comes next. Will this be the catalyst for real change, or just another scandal that fades from memory until the next one hits? Only time will tell, but one thing is guaranteed: the conversation about technology, fairness, and the future of professional tennis is just getting started, and it is going to be one wild ride.